Hello, hello, hello. How you doing, guys? It's the Deep Service Podcast. How you doing, my guy?
What's going on? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. You looking good today, my guy.
I'm trying.
Listen.
I'm trying. I feel good.
How you doing, Ivan?
Good, man. Good.
Man, listen, man. It is it's a lovely day, man. We up, we here. Unfortunately, I don't know if this is true or not. So this is alleged news before we get started into our podcast. I don't know. I heard YouTube personality Kevin Samuels passed away. It's allegedly. I'm not sure. We haven't got the real news yet, but man, rest in peace. If it is,
sir.
But if he's not, I'm glad you're still here. Because the life is a life.
It is.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
And I looked on Twitter a little
It's
bit,
valuable.
and I seen people bashing him, you know, laughing and making a mockery of his life, man. And life is precious.
It is.
I don't care what a person does here in their life, especially something like what he did. To be mocked like that in death, is something else. We didn't do that back. We talked about it outside, kicking. We didn't do that back in the day.
No.
Right or wrong, when the uncle died who did the dirt in the family, we raved about him. Yeah. We let him have his death. You know what I mean? We understood that, when he's gone, he never has to answer these questions.
Yeah.
Which is on the other side of it too as well. When you do, and it's not making an excuse, but it's giving two perspectives. When you do controversial work like Kevin Samuels did, in the event of something like this, people tend to not give you the benefit of the doubt or don't hold back on how they really feel.
Yeah.
And then what really happens is, Keegan, is your family has to answer.
They do.
The question. It's not fair. It's unfortunate, but it's society we live in, man. But if it is true, rest in peace to him. And I hope it's not true. But if it is, man, we lost a voice. Even though the voice you may not agree with or see, but it still was a voice that even in controversy, it sparked a conversation.
Right. Because it's all about perspective.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And everybody didn't disagree with Kevin Samuels.
Absolutely not.
Maybe his approach was off.
Yeah.
Maybe he was narcissistic in his view on certain things. But he said some things that had people listening, whether you agree with it or not.
Yeah.
So, man, I think the point here for me is to, let's be respectful. No matter what it is, let's be respectful. Because at the end of the day, everybody has a family.
No question.
Absolutely.
What's your thoughts on it, Ivan?
My thoughts on it, I mean, he said some controversial things. And so it ruffles some people's feathers. It rubs some people the wrong way. But at the end of the day, just like you said, I mean, he gets to go and rest. Now, how long will you allow the things that he said affect you? Either allow it to affect you and move differently, or allow it to be a no of effect and keep moving on with life. But that's no reason to bash him in death.
No.
I mean, in the event, if the alleged reports are accurate, I mean, allow him to go in peace. And again, what I was stating before, it's about perspective. It's about creating the conversation.
Absolutely.
Because if somebody does not give their perspective or their point of view from where they actually standpoint, it doesn't even evolve to the conversation. So let's allow that perspective to be what it is. And then you take that perspective, digest it, and you are able to regurgitate one yourself.
Yeah. And you don't have to agree. And if you don't like what somebody's saying, you don't have to watch them.
No, you don't.
No.
But people was watching him, Keegan. So it was something he was saying, true, false, whatever you want to call it. I'm not I'm not giving my opinion at all on it, because again, if this is true, I'm gonna let that lie. But regardless, we have to give each other respect.
We do. Because God created him too.
Yeah,
Come on,
right.
Keegan.
And let's not
Let's go, man.
Yeah,
Come on now.
Let's not associate disagreement with controversy.
Right,
Come on.
You know, I mean, he wasn't talking about the nuclear codes, right? And so I want to say that if it is true, God rest his soul, and I hope he makes it to the pearly gates. But, I think for some reason recently, just from my perspective, it seems to be okay that we bash people in death.
Yeah.
And we had discussion about
We
what happened
just
with
here.
Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, we was just
right?
here.
I think about how Lisa Leslie was interviewed by Gayle King regarding Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, at some point, can we just say, hey, look, this person has gone on to glory. Can that be off limits? Now, I'm not saying we can't actually address or assess what they said or did while they was here.
Right.
I'm not saying that. But at some point in time, compassion has to enter the psyche for those they left behind.
Absolutely.
I mean, we are human, right? Yeah. You know, so I just wonder about that. But God restore if he has gone on to glory, if he has not, hey, keep doing your thing, because we did lose a voice.
Yeah, and I'll say this, man, and this leads to legacy.
Yes.
You know, on the other side of the coin too as well, you know, those of us who are still amongst the living, we got to know that, you know, what you say and do in this life will echo in eternity.
Absolutely.
You know, that's the realistic piece to it, right?
Yeah.
You know, the things you do to people they don't forget.
No question.
You know, now they have a platform to tell you how they really feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you got to protect your family also too as well whenever you're doing certain things that does stir up people. That's why I think we don't have the luxury right now. I think controversy is cool. I think it sells, but at the end of the day, we have to galvanize, because, you know, when stuff like this happens, we want to celebrate our people. Yes. He was an extraordinary talent, whether you disagree with his message or not. He was able to disseminate a message that got to millions of people, and it made you at least stop and think about something.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but in that, you know, those of us who's in front of microphones, those of us who represent the public as leaders, I think it's important that we construct our legacy in the right manner, that whenever something does happen to us, we can go out.
And I wouldn't, like I said, I want to be careful about associating him with controversy. He said things that folks disagree with. That's cool.
That's true. That's a good point.
When I think about,
that's a good point.
I think about Alex Jones, who runs InfoWars. Yeah. That's controversy to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, he be lit on Joe Rogan though. He be saying anything.
Yeah, he does. You know, to me, that's controversy. You know, what Kevin Simpson talked about was, you can disagree with all you want, but it was worth debate. It wasn't, to me, that wasn't controversial.
That's a good point. I can go with that.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that because again, making sure that we keep his name in right perspective, because he's going on to glory. You know, because he can't defend himself right now.
Yeah, right.
That's the biggest thing. He can't defend himself right now.
Before we get going, we're gonna go to a lighter note, but my little nephew AJ was born, so shout out to AJ.
Amen.
He's just born right now, man.
All right, man.
Absolutely. Ebony had a
AJ,
little boy,
welcome.
so
good stuff.
Congratulations, Ebony. I wanted to stop the pod and say that I just seen his little face. I don't know if y'all, I ain't gonna show him, but he cute as a button, though, man.
Gotcha.
But listen, man, that's life coming into the world. When life goes out, life comes in.
No question.
That's how it happens, a revolving door. You know what I mean? This is why we gotta, you know, love on each other, man. This is real. We talk about this a lot, man, but we're in times right now that are critical, that we absorb love from each other. We be careful. We respect each other, because you never know what bridge you will have to cross one day.
No question.
Right.
You better be careful what you say about people.
No question.
Care how you better be careful how you treat them, even when people exit your life. Squash it.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all may not talk again. Squash it, because you never know if you got to cross that bridge again.
No question.
People remember how you treat them.
They will.
They do.
People remember how you make them feel. Speaking of that, a little lighter note. NBA playoffs. We ain't gonna stay here long. So, in the Western Conference, how you feeling, Ivan?
I'm still feeling gentleman sweep by the Golden State Warriors.
What a beautiful
gentleman sweep.
Gentleman
okay.
sweep.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
It's gonna be interesting. I believe that the Memphis Grizzlies are a tough up and coming team. Ja Morant is spectacular. He's box office. It's not and he's clutch. He wants the moment.
He does.
I mean, you can't say nothing. The guy wants the moment.
Yes.
Listen, I'm a Zion guy, but you know, I don't let my eyes lie to me. What I'm seeing is a guy who wants the moment. And now, you know, the pressure is going to ramp up a little bit more, because Golden State is hell to play with. You know, so Phoenix Suns look great. Phoenix Suns, to me, right now, looks like Keegan probably the best team with Boston as well. I think Phoenix Suns, they can guard, they can shoot the three. They got a player in Devin Booker that can get his own shot at any time. They got a point guard in Chris Paul that's getting better.
Who's found the
every
fountain of youth.
game.
Yep.
Let's talk Chris Paul.
Hey.
We can't say enough about him.
For real.
They tried to crucify him too.
They did.
They sent him like they did D Wade and Carmelo Anthony. They tried to send him straight to the grave, didn't they? Yeah. But what a resurrection! He went to Oklahoma City, turned that program around, and he came here.
To Houston first.
Yeah, he should have won it in Houston. So you see that, and now you seeing what he's doing now, man. I couldn't be more happy for Chris Paul, the North Carolinian man, somebody who's worked their whole career, 17, 18 years,
Yeah, man.
in the NBA, and it's only getting better, man. Keegan, who's your pick for the West?
I gave my pick before.
You got Phoenix there?
Phoenix there. Why should I change?
Okay,
You're the only one that got picked new teams.
I ain't got to pick no team. Okay, so I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
You trying to get me to recant?
I'm just saying.
I'm going to the East in a second. Yeah, I picked the Nets.
Yeah, but we go back to you pick Golden State. You pick Golden State.
I think Golden State has a chance. I don't know if they'll win.
Oh, no, they'll beat the Grizzlies. They got too much firepower, and you will not have Klay
Is Klay Thompson the same player?
He's not the same player, but he will not have enough bad games to where Memphis can actually overcome that. He's just not going to do that. You know? And then, as you said, Jordan Poole, Tyrese Maxey, those two names.
They're the new type of player too.
Yes.
They look like the new guard.
Yes.
That guard that can go 100 miles per hour, but look like they're under control.
Exactly.
Skill set is ridiculous.
Exactly.
So speaking of that, let me go to this before we get off sports. So you got the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, I still got Phoenix Suns.
You got Golden State.
I still got Golden State.
I'm torn right now, so I'm torn. I don't know. I got it.
Don't switch up.
I ain't switching up. I'm saying I like Golden State, but also I don't know if I've seen Dallas rally back from stuff like this. Will they? No. I'm not sure, but I've seen them play good defense.
Phoenix Suns is a better team.
That's my point. I'm not going to knock Luka. He don't have enough help.
You are going to knock Luka. No. I didn't bring up Luka.
I'm being real.
Okay. He doesn't have enough help.
He don't. But what I'm saying is,
listen. But if your number 2 is Jalen Brunson, from an offensive perspective, you got some problems. That's their problem. They got to give him some help.
And John Morant, he's a phenomenal young player. Looks like a young D Wade out there.
He does.
Except he's got a 3-ball. Can't defend. He can't defend to save his life.
Younger players. It's harder for younger players to defend. It's harder for younger players to defend.
But he is an absolute offensive juggernaut. He takes over. He wants the moment. He's looking for the cameras. He's ready. But he don't have enough help. And though you can have a lot of enthusiasm, it still has to correlate into doing the right thing.
Well, we have to be seen. I still think they got a chance. I don't know if Golden State is staying Golden State. I still think they got a chance. They're young. They don't really know. Nobody's told them they shouldn't beat Golden State. And you remember that young OKC team that ran through the West back in 2012 and 2011? You got to think about it. So these guys don't really know anything other than smoke.
Well, when we think about Golden State, and you say it's not the same Golden State has only played 2 bad games in the playoffs. Well, lost both of those games.
No, what I'm saying is
very close.
But Memphis played a great. Memphis been great all year long. So I'm not saying that what I'm saying is I want to see what Game 3 looks like. I want to see the whole series because I do believe that watching Ja Morant, they don't have an answer for him.
No,
they don't have an answer for Ja Morant.
Nobody does.
So if it stays a close game, and is Steph a closer? Honestly, over the years, like a closer. I know he's a front runner. I know he's hit some threes, but is he a closer?
In the playoffs, yes. In the finals, no. And so I've seen.
Okay, I've seen him. Well, I know he front runs. What I'm saying
how many chips he got?
He got 3.
Okay, so let's stop that.
No, I ain't saying he's not clutch.
Let's stop that.
No, I'm not questioning that. I'm just saying there has been some questionable things about Steph coming up in the clutch.
Go ahead.
We
search for the one thing we can say we can hold against a person.
No, what I'm saying, I'm not holding against. No, I'm not holding that against Steph because I don't think he can come up in the clutch. I'm saying historically, and if I'm seeing Ja Morant right now, right, I ain't talking. I'm saying. Game. I know one game. That's why I said
I'm a Ja Morant fan.
That's why I said one game. I don't know. Ja Morant could be D Roziers, Westbrookish. We're gonna find out soon, but we'll see.
And and him and Klay Thompson shot, I think, 18 for 37.
Klay was terrible. Yeah, Klay was terrible. Yeah, Klay was terrible. That's my point. You're not going to get that.
That's not.
You won't get that in 3 other games for you to beat them. You just won't get that.
No,
that's my point. So it's not a question of if Memphis is good, it's a question of Golden State's not going to be that bad enough for them to win.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? That's all.
Yeah, we'll see. Before we go to another topic.
Hold on, Boston, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We'll go to the East.
Okay.
You got Boston in the East?
No. I had Milwaukee.
Who you got?
I'm going to stick with Milwaukee. Hey, I'm not going to do what you do.
Loyalty don't do anything. Not in sports.
I can feel good at night.
That break your heart. What you got?
But I would tell you, Boston looks really, really good, bro. Real good.
Wow. Boston.
He was a Miami guy. You know what he was.
Boston looks really good. I still ultimately believe that the Bucks comes out, but I believe that the Heat can really give the Bucks something.
I initially
is it the Heat or is the 76ers just that bad?
No, the Heat.
I think the Heat are really just that good.
Okay.
Do we see
Oladipo coming off the bench? I think.
I got you.
All I'm saying is, I think
the way they beat Atlanta.
They are playing defense.
And okay, Atlanta's not that great of a team. But
Atlanta's a good team, bro. But
that's the same team that we seen Boston struggle with a couple years ago.
No, what I'm saying, that's a couple years ago. But what I'm saying is that
but they still got the same players.
The Heat do look good, and I initially didn't watch them a lot because they don't have the most aesthetically pleasing basketball. So I didn't really watch them. I watched them, but I just had my mid-tier expectations for them. Mm-hmm. But now I'm starting to think differently because they got shooting everywhere. Tyler Hero's gotten better. Bam has gotten a whole lot better. Jimmy Butler knows his role fully. And then you got Oladipo coming in. Oladipo was an all-star.
And they're better than like Kyle Lowry.
And Eric Spoelstra is a top-tier coach.
Yeah,
he don't get enough credit. He's a top-tier coach.
Absolutely.
And they play defense. I mean, lockdown defense. And Kyle Lowry coming out Kyle Lowry's there. So I don't know right now. I think I'm up in the air with everybody right now. I just want to see a little bit more. But the Heat are formidable. Without Chris Middleton, I'm not sure about the Bucks.
That's my only
the scoring. Can you beat them 4 times like that? Because you got to depend on mid-level guys.
Yeah, because
Wes
Matthews can't get you 20.
That's what I'm saying. Like not consistently for three more games. So you're gonna depend on him. You don't pay guys. Listen, max player get paid for max games.
Yeah. Right. The only thing about Miami, because I see Miami and Boston headed for a crash collision for the East Conference Finals, and my issue with those two teams are, I don't know if Miami can get enough offense going against that Boston's defense. Talk about Miami's defense. The Celtics defense.
Which one plays better defense?
The Celtics against the best players in the East. I'm just being real. And I picked the Milwaukee Bucks, but they're giving Giannis problems. They gave KD problems.
And Giannis missed a lot of shots too, like easy shots.
But okay, now let's remember.
But part of that's defense.
Game 2, yeah. I ain't saying that.
Defense,
let's remember
Grant Williams playing great defense.
Let's remember game 1. They had no answer for Giannis.
They don't have an answer for him now.
He was throwing the ball off the basket.
They don't have an answer for him now, honestly.
Well, literally speaking, no one actually has an answer for Giannis. But if you can defend him enough to make him get in his own head, that's good defense. That's what Pat Beverly does. You can say he hacks all the time, but he gets in your head to make you think, okay, I'm going to miss this wide open layup. I've been getting D'd up. Like Kevin Durant. He was actually defense. Nobody was there, but he still thinks it's being played on because he thinks it's just that good. That's defense gets in your head. So to me, I don't know if Miami got enough offense to counteract that. And when you got Tatum and Brown, and when Brown wants to play, Tatum don't take no super shots. Yeah, bro, they got enough offense.
Oh, no question
to beat Miami. They
definitely can beat Miami. I think I think Boston. I think Boston, Miami, and the Bucks have a legitimate chance. Mm-hmm. All 3 of these teams can really win the East.
Yeah,
and it's hats off to Joel Embiid. He's probably the MVP. Look, that's a very, very tough injury this time of the year.
Yeah. And James Harden is another tough injury for him. My goodness.
That was a bar. And very
bro,
true.
You gotta
very true.
Listen, bro. That shows you that team ball is king. Am I lying?
Yeah.
James Harden had 4 years of a tear. And it's like all of a sudden something just happened. Mm-hmm. And that's life. You know what I mean? It's one of those
Somebody turned the light switch off?
They did, bro. He's not the same player.
He ain't at the Motel 6.
And the good thing about being able to evolve your game, that's why I admire LeBron so much. Because LeBron has been able to change his game. Even Kobe, to some degree, has been able to modify their game. Jordan did it. Jordan was a high flyer, but he modified his game. Yeah. You got to think about it. Those were the truly iconic, great ones do.
Can I ask you a question about James Harden?
Absolutely.
When he was knocking down step-back threes from wherever he wanted to do it, it was all like, he's the dude. Now he's missing them. We'll talk about his blow-by step. We'll talk about his first step in Houston.
He looks different, though, King.
I ain't gonna say he doesn't look different. I mean, we all age, right?
But here's the difference. I was talking to somebody today. God, it's good. But we was talking to somebody today about how we don't let superstars age anymore.
That's true. We don't.
Superstars used to be able to get older in the game and be respected. But now it's like a crucifixion.
Yeah.
Because they're covered wall to wall.
Yeah.
Now, so now James Harden, like, seeing it, like,
Kyrie,
I remember Charles Barkley declined. You remember Shaq's decline?
Yes.
It was awful.
He
was the big cactus. Yeah. He went to Cleveland. He went to he was the big Celtic, whatever he was, the Lucky Charm.
The Celtics, the Cleveland.
Phoenix,
Celtics in Cleveland, and Phoenix. He was trash.
He was still
anywhere
other than Heat and the Lakers. He was trash. Bro, he was trash.
Still producing.
No, he wasn't.
Was he still producing?
When I seen Shaq go down the Cleveland bench, I was like, go retire, bro.
Yeah, it was that.
But we let Shaq kind of. That was the last time we let
for the king.
Yeah. He stayed too long, bro. He did.
But it's gonna be an interesting playoffs, though. It's gonna be interesting to say the least.
It's been great.
Been great too, man. So, we'll keep everybody tuned in. But, man, I want to go here to another. And it's been confirmed, I think, that he has passed away. Cardiac arrest, man. So, rest in peace to his family.
Rest in peace.
And everybody involved in this situation, man. We still lost a bright star. Just because you don't like the way that bright star speaks, that don't mean that wasn't a bright star. Right. Every star don't come to make you feel comfortable.
No question. No question.
God don't give everybody gifts to make it can be for somebody else, and you got to realize that when you're speaking bad on people's name, because he meant something to somebody.
Absolutely.
This is why you got to be mindful, Keegan. We talked about that. He meant something to somebody.
He did.
And we all mean something to somebody, man. This is why we constantly have to give grace. That's why grace is so important. It's why important what Christ gave us, the grace to be able. You don't get grace to keep it. You get grace to give it.
To give it. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
To give it. Because it ain't easy to give grace.
No.
Somebody hurt you. Somebody did you wrong. Got to give grace.
We love receiving it, though.
Boy, listen.
We love
man, I'll pray to God in a second.
Yes. Yeah. Man, we love mercy. We love mercy, right, to get it. When you got to give it to them.
We know that unmerited favor.
Yeah,
we got to be givers of grace, man.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah. And everything we do, because I think that it evolves us. It helps us become better to see the bigger picture, because you don't know what people are going through.
True. Yeah.
You don't know what people are dealing with on a day-by-day basis. You don't know, Keegan, what somebody just endured. Somebody just got a phone call, because somebody in his family just got a phone call.
Yeah, man.
You here today.
For real. It's tough.
And it's over. No matter how much money he made, how many people hate it, none of that matters now.
No.
This is why we got to learn to love each other the right way. Speaking of that, rest in peace to my guy. Supreme Court right now, Keegan, is, before we talk about this subject, abortion, let me be clear. This is not a conversation speaking for women. We're just being advocates because they're not in the room. Let me be clear about that. We're not speaking for anybody. We're just being of assistance to speak on this issue. So, Keegan, I want you to kind of break down what's going on with Roe v. versus Wade and what's going on with the Supreme Court.
So, I think what's important to understand is nothing has been done legally yet.
Correct.
Right. So, what happened? Samuel Alito, Justice Alito, wrote an opinion for the majority, and it was scathing regarding how Roe v. Wade was egregiously written and had no reasoning to it, and how he wanted to show where they were at internally. And this happens all the time. They write opinions within their own deliberations as a Supreme Court body. It got leaked, and that's where the whole frenzy is coming from. And so that's why Robert's going to look at doing an investigation to figure out how it got leaked. But it got leaked on purpose. Of
course it did.
They want to get public opinion about it to see where things are at. But we should not be surprised. This is one reason why the party of the Republicans did what they did, going back to Merrick Garland. Mm-hmm. This is where they wanted to be at back then. This is not a coincidence. This is where they want to overturn this particular legislation or this particular Supreme Court decision. And so the goal is to uproot and get public opinion to a groundswell to where we can actually push forth legislation to actually get rid of Roe v. Wade and turn back that particular decision. I think what's important, Steve, about this is I want people to understand something. I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal. Do not let people play politics with things that impact your life. Let me break this down for you.
Come on.
When Roe v. Wade was passed, 1973, it was a 7-2 ruling.
It was.
Of the 7 people who voted to put it in place, 5 were Republican. 2 were Democrat. Nothing has changed. Public opinion is still the same. They did polling. Mm-hmm. Nothing has changed since then and now as we think about this as a society. Politicians change. The party has changed for the Republican Party. They have changed. And so the question becomes why? For votes. Don't let them play politics with your particular life and your bodies. Even if you're a Republican woman, do you really think about this as being the right thing to do?
Come on, man. Right.
Just be honest with you. And I'm not talking about, if you want to look at it from a faith perspective, fine, how you want to look at it. But just don't let someone else play politics with things
How could you even look at it from a faith perspective?
Well, those who are in favor of overturning abortion rights believe life is life. Life starts at conception. They believe that, I'm not saying you don't believe it. I can't tell you what to believe in that regard, but they believe that, And so from their perspective, no, we cannot have abortion run amok in this particular country. So that's their position on it from a faith perspective. And
but what faith? I just I've always heard that. Like, I'm trying to see what's the basis of it.
So Catholics, they all believe in that.
Yeah, Catholics.
Well, hold on.
No, I'm not disrespecting.
We're not going to judge religion right now.
I ain't just saying.
I'm trying to give you the source people's belief, right, and where they come from with this. So from that perspective, Catholics, a lot of Christians believe in life and the sanctity of it, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and I want to be clear. I'm not supporting, overturning Roe v. Wade. I'm just giving him a perspective. But go ahead.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, where does how do we get to determine where life starts, and how do we get to? Even that's what I'm saying. Even from a faith perspective, like, how do we know? We don't know anything. The only person that knows is that woman.
Well, in actuality, until someone tells you you're pregnant.
But what I'm saying is, whatever decision before in her body, everything's in her body. It's between only God, her, and whatever's in their nose.
Yeah.
And that's when I hear women say, "How can a man make a decision about a woman's body?"
Oh no,
I know you're not saying that.
I'm with
I just
you
want to
all
say
day long.
That's what I'm saying. I've always heard the faith thing.
But women believe the same thing too. Steve, is my point.
No, I'm not saying that women don't believe it. I'm just saying who determines, like, where's the basis of that? We always have a lot of faith-based things like, how do you know?
Well, that's one aspect of the reasoning from one part of the constituency, which says faith-based people believe in this part here. There's also people who just believe in, hey, I want to control women's bodies.
And who created the word abortion? And why is it even called that?
I mean,
see, that's what we get into. Who created these words? Who said that God even looks at it as abortion? Who says God? Think about that. They created that word. You don't know if it's not the right thing for that woman's body, for her particular circumstance. I know you're not arguing that. I'm just saying, like, who said? These are just questions I'm asking.
I don't want to get into that because
I know
that can be argued. That can be argued against anything that you want to bring up, whether it be about racism, whether it be about war.
We can define what racism is, though.
Yeah, Well, they can define when life starts.
No, how? That's
medically they can.
No, what I'm saying is that like, how do we define? What I'm saying is that okay, if you thought life, we'll put them in jail.
I won't get into all that.
That's what I'm saying. They don't believe. What I'm saying is I ain't questioning you. They don't even believe the stuff they say themselves.
Well, no. I would say this. Some people have a pretty strong conviction about it because in their minds they think that if I believe life, I'm not saying I do because I do not, but if they believe life starts at conception, not at 8 weeks or 10 weeks, if they believe life starts at conception, they believe that once that happens, what you do after that is akin to killing a person.
Yeah.
Now you can disagree.
Yeah,
I'm with you. But some people believe that and are convicted by it.
It's not
I can't judge that thinking.
It's not that I don't. It's not that I'm disagreeing. It's that where did you get the basis of what you're saying from?
Well, some will argue where you get your basis from. See, I don't want.
I ain't got no. But what I'm saying is, I don't. My point is, I don't have a basis. You know, I don't have a basis because I don't. Have one. No. Listen, I'm saying because this issue will never happen to me. So I don't have a perspective. All I know is how do you know what her body, her circumstances, and does God even view it like that? That's all I'm saying when people say faith-based.
Right.
No, but I don't disagree with that. But I can't say that somebody who has a faith-based perspective on abortion, they say that if I believe life starts at conception, basically when I believe from a faith, and he said, God said you shall not murder, I'm looking at it from that perspective. I can't argue with the person from that perspective. That's their perspective. That's their perspective. That's their conviction. I don't want to argue that. My argument's always been, I don't have to tell somebody what to do with their body. That's my whole argument. And so I can't tell this woman, if you want to have an abortion, I can't tell you can't have that. That's my only point of view. That's my personal point of view.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into whether nice, right, or wrong. Because I can't, I'm not God.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. My only point is I can't tell someone else what to do with their body.
Which in terms, you can say we can't attach any type of label on it at all. Right or wrong. Because we don't know. Because essentially this is what I think women are ultimately saying. You don't know if a man shouldn't even be talking about this.
I can't say that. But
no, what I'm saying is deciding stuff about her body. That's what I mean. I ain't talking about whether they can talk about it or have a conversation. I'm talking about simply making the decision on what you can and can't do with your body, or making a declaration that God doesn't see it like this at this point because we know this don't start at this time. Nobody knows the true answer to none of those questions. And to put that on people when you have real life situations that happen, like this is what I do know, when people have babies in the hood and nobody wants to help them. The same people that wants to overturn Roe v. Wade, they won't help. They're never there. I grew up in a household with a single mom. I ain't saying she should have. I grew up in a house with a single mom. You grew up in a house with a single mom. You grew up in. I didn't see any of those people there.
Well, yeah, I would say a lot of people will say that Republicans are quick to want to make someone have a baby, but they don't want to take care of it when they come to the world. Like they want to take away Medicaid. They want to take care of CHIPS, which is the helping that Hillary Clinton put in place for people who are impoverished. You take away all the health programs, take care of a kid, but you want to bring him here no matter what. So I'm with you on that particular part. But go ahead, Ivy, you want to make a point?
It's just curious to me because you did mention about taking away all of the financial aiding that would be needed, like the Medicaid and sometimes welfare, if that's what's needed. You want to make sure that you get rid of those things, but you want to say, hey, this child has to come into the world. So now, what is it all really for? What's actually the goal at this point? Who is it that you're saying that needs to go through completion with pregnancy? Who is this for? Because if you want to take away all the programs that will actually help aid that child through those 18 years, then what takes place then? What happens then? And so, me personally, I believe that this is a way to get us to being a more pure-oriented society and getting people doing certain things to their body, which will allow the medical industry to still benefit regardless. Because if I can say, hey, no more abortions, I get rid of it legally, get rid of it, it's still going to take
illegal is going to happen.
It's still going to happen illegally.
No question.
Right? But what does that do for the mindset of a woman who's like, I'm not ready to have children yet? What does that do? That changes the way that she actually maybe want to move forward. And so now, is she forced to do Depo shot? Is she forced to do a vitro or any of these other things that are very harmful to the body? And a lot of them have hard metals in them. And hard metals are extremely terrible for our organs.
Yep.
So now, what is it that you're trying to create? Are you trying to create a wider margin for the medical field? So it just makes me wonder, what's the purpose? What's the reason? If we're because the same party that's trying to get rid of all of these programs, they also want to say, hey, we're going to keep this though. So help me understand what would be what's the why?
To me, the why is votes. I think what we gotten to a place where both parties will look at what can I do or what subject will get me the most votes from my particular constituency. That's all it's about to me. Like I said, these are facts. When Roe v. Wade was passed, it was passed by 5 Republicans and 2 Democrats. Now all of a sudden the party says that we don't want to do it no more. What changed? Like Alito is saying that Roe v. Wade was a bad decision. He's a Republican. But you have 5 other guys who are Republicans who said it was a good idea. Mm-hmm. What changed? Babies didn't change.
No.
Mothers didn't change. And public sentiment has not changed. Polling is the same thing. So what changed? My ability to figure out I got a subject I can actually get more votes for stay in power. It's about votes, in my opinion. That's all it's always been about, is staying in power. They don't care about the baby or the mother.
No.
You know? And so to me,
that's why I question their motives.
Yeah, I do too.
That's why I question their motives.
But here's what I'm going to question. I'm going to question the people to stand up. Let's just be clear. They don't control this. They want you to think they control. They don't control it. You control it as the voter.
Yes.
If you don't want this to happen, start coming to the voting booth.
Come on.
And putting people in place who are not going to do this.
Come on, Keegan.
Simple as that.
Come on,
Because
Keegan.
when we're talking about, hey, voting don't matter. Okay, when Trump got in office, what did he do?
And he might come back in 2024 if you're not
when
careful.
he was in office, what did he do? He put 2 conservative justices on the court.
Kavanaugh.
And this is what you get. Mm-hmm. Simple as that. When you don't want to vote for Senate, when you got McConnell in there running around power, what did he do? He blocked Merrick Garland from getting in there.
He did.
Plain and simple. This is how they play. So I really don't care about the justices until we want to rise up and use our power to put things that we want. It's not going to matter. Mm-hmm. It does not matter. Because what they just showed me was, in 73, 5 conservatives said it's a good idea. Now all of a sudden it's not a good idea. It ain't nothing changed.
And this is why we got to be political participants.
We do.
We got to participate in the process.
We do.
Like this is, Keegan, we always talk about this. Be aiding your own rescue.
No question. You got to participate.
You got to participate. Mm-hmm. You got to participate in your own rescue.
No question.
That means, like, and something as simple as going to vote, you'll be all the stuff that we're distracted by. Mm-hmm. You know, and going to that voting booth, and because that's power.
Yeah.
In this particular society that we live in. Mm-hmm. You know, that's how you gain power, man. But
because guess what? Oklahoma just passed a copycat bill of Texas, where you could just sue anyone that actually helps someone have an abortion. We can't sue the mother.
Yes.
But everybody's going to sue. Copycat bill in Oklahoma. And they're all starting to push it. It's starting to be pushed. And this is a result. We can talk about Trump all we want. This is a result of putting him in office. Yes. Plain and simple. It's a result of not voting from a liberal perspective, or voting in a way that lets Republicans gain governorships, gain state houses, and state congresses. If we don't rise up to fight this and stop acting like our vote doesn't count, this is what you get.
Your voice changed when you said that. You meant that.
I did.
I know you was going to cuss.
I wasn't, because mama said don't cuss. So I'm not going to cuss. I'm being good.
Does this mean, like, transitioning a little bit, you know, and to all the women out there and anybody involved in this, we fully support you. And, you know, we'll make sure we do our part in advocating for our women, advocating for all women in situations that we know nothing about, because you can do a lot of damage when you make decisions for things you don't understand. and I think that's what's going on ultimately right now. But Ivan, does this speak to a larger point? Do we have free will? Like, watching them bear their decisions on us, watching this happen, like, do we have, is free will an illusion or is it real?
Free will has never been real. It's never been real. There's virtually nobody. People are only free because they believe they're free. But when you actually think about it, stop doing whatever it takes for you to earn income.
You'll be on the streets.
Don't go home. Don't do any of those things that you typically would do, and let's see how much freedom you really have. So freedom, as they've given it, like physical freedom, it doesn't exist. Freedom only exists in the mind. That's why you have to get there first. Ooh. Freedom only exists in your self state. It does not exist on things on the exterior, because it doesn't matter what it is that you do, unless you wanted a talented, unless you wanted the 1%. And then they're only free to a certain extent. They're only free until death. So they don't even really have real freedom, because they're borrowed their freedom while they're here on earth, right? But they gotta pay. They gotta pay eventually for anything that it is that they may have had to do in order for them to get into the position that they were in.
What makes the 1% the 1%?
Now we talking. Now we talking.
Money, right?
What money? Wealth.
So what they had to do to get the multi-billion dollar, same thing I got to do to work and earn groceries in my refrigerator. Mm-hmm. So they're no more free than I'm free from your point of view. So they're not free either.
Their illusion is much larger. That's why I say even they have the illusion of freedom until death, and then they'll realize how much freedom they have. And then some of them, they actually live in torment as well.
They do.
Just because your torment might not be, okay, I can buy anything that I need, but you'll never be able to buy peace.
No, you can't buy peace or time.
Or love. Mm-hmm. You can never buy grace. Grace is something that's given unto you freely.
Unmerited favor.
And you only can get grace from one source that I know of. And that source being God, but also people that actually have God on the inside of them can give you grace. Mm-hmm. But they don't believe that they need that. So that's why I say that they only have the illusion of freedom until death, and then they realize how much freedom they don't have. Mm-hmm. Because now, after time, you really have to find out what that actually is.
Yeah.
Because the things that you had here won't be there. That doesn't transfer. The only thing that transfers is that spirit at that point. And so I believe that freedom is actually only an illusion. You only have freedom in mind when it comes to physical freedom.
Well, I want to make sure that I want to be on the same page as you guys. Is freedom and free will the same thing?
I don't know. That's what I was about to.
Okay.
Because free will is such a broad. It's broad.
Let's make it very simple.
Yeah.
You know where it comes from, so let's make it very, very simple. Free will is decide what you want to decide upon and then deal with the consequences. What happens is no one wants to deal with the consequences.
No.
So you don't want to talk about free will. You want to make it seem like, no, I'm not free. No, you're free to deal with the consequences.
Absolutely. Because you're
to your point, you said stop working to earn money. Say what you eat. Well, you want to stop working to earn money? That's cool. You just got to deal with the consequences.
Got with the consequences.
That's all it is.
Absolutely.
People don't want the consequences.
Because your decisions are ultimately your power.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like if we were X-Men, that would be your power. Your decisions and your choices that you make in this life. Mm-hmm. But like you say, there's consequences.
Because folks don't want the responsibility of things.
That's hard, though.
No, it's not. Don't do that. See, we
no.
let folks off the hook when we say stuff
like
that.
I get what you're saying. Mm. But doesn't mean it's not difficult to take responsibility. People don't like to do it. You got to do it.
So not liking something and it being hard is two different things.
Yeah, and people make it hard. Whatever. Yeah.
Let's be clear.
I don't think it's I don't think it's complex, but you got to always take into account circumstances.
You do.
Things,
I agree.
Events that led up to things.
Context.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm with you.
And I always try to do that because, and that's why I say it's hard, because I have to examine my own self first.
I'm with you.
I always look within inside first, and then I say, okay, let me make a decision about this conversation I'm having. But yeah, but you still, your decisions are your power.
Yeah, I think we have free will. I think free will is a part of a matrix you have to work within.
I got you.
Right? Because we can't just fly, right? We work within the matrix. I can't just move these walls.
I think we
don't do the Lucy thing.
I'm not doing the Lucy thing, but I know. But it's true though. If you want to be honest though, we only operating at 10% of our. We talked about it.
Let's stay there then. Let's
okay, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. We only operating at about 10% capacity.
But let's stay to 10% then. Let's stay where we're at right now. So,
I'm just saying, maybe we could.
Yeah. My only point is you have free will within your domain.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right? Because I don't operate outside of time like God does. I gotta operate within that framework. So I have free will within that framework. Do I accept the responsibility of free will? That's the question you got to ask yourself. And most people don't want the responsibility of free will. So do what? They'll claim victimhood.
So nobody want to be
blame
free.
Somebody else.
So do people actually want to be free then?
As slaves who inherited making them free.
I'm just asking. Do you think inherently people want to be free? That's what I'm asking.
I think inherently people want to be free without responsibility.
That's a large statement.
Well, you asked me the question.
I just said it's a large statement. I didn't say you were wrong. You said it's a large statement.
Yeah, I could have said I don't want to answer that question. I could have said that.
I'm just saying it's a large statement.
I think people want to be free and they want free will without responsibility.
Why do you think that way?
Because I think think about this. When something goes wrong, how often do we blame somebody else for it?
Absolutely.
Or how do we say, this happened because I went through this right here? We claim victim all the time. You break the law. You don't go to the cop and say, cop, I did X, Y, Z. You don't do that. No, you try to get away with it. That's just, it's human nature. It's part of the flesh.
Unjust law is no law at all.
No one's talking about that, Steve.
I'm just saying.
You want to respond just to respond. My only point is, I think most people, and I'm including myself in this. I'm not saying I'm excluding myself. I'm including this as well. We want free will without responsibility that we don't think we can handle, because most of us think that I can't handle it, and the reality is you can. I'll give you a financial principle, and I'm gonna go from a black perspective. Most black folks won't take the risk of entrepreneurship because they're about failing. If I fail, I lose everything. They don't realize I can come back. They they operate in that particular thing. So my point is, yeah, you can have free will. Just take the responsibility. That's all you got to do. Take the responsibility.
That's
you
a good point. You've been goating tonight, Keegan.
Nah, you brought this up. But go ahead. Go ahead.
So I was going to say to that is we're so governed in our free will.
That's true.
We're so governed.
That is true. That is true.
And in the governed in our free will, it keeps us from being who we were actually truly created to be. I believe we right here when it comes to food chain.
What you mean by that? Go ahead. I'm ready to pod.
We at the bottom.
What do you mean?
We have the biggest minds. We're obviously the most intelligent when it comes to evolving and being able to create so many different technologies. But when you think about it, all of those things that you create, how many things did you dissolve from? How many things did you grow away from? An animal, a coyote right now, could walk out here on the ground. Now, we've been hearing lightning for the last 3-4 days and ain't seen no rain. They knew 2 weeks ago that there probably was going to be a storm coming. Because they're so connected to the earth. And they don't have to think about, oh, man, I need to eat. I don't know how I'm going to go get something to eat. No, they're just going to go chase down that rabbit and they're going to eat it. Mm-hmm.
That's good.
They don't have to worry about or think about the other things that they're governed to do in order for them to exist.
Because that's good.
I would say the one thing the tree of knowledge of good and evil gave you was distractions. Mm-hmm. They don't get distracted.
No. Right. Well, they're still operating at the consciousness that God gave them to begin with. But when they were first created. But they never changed.
You are too. The difference is we will get distracted and they won't.
Because we're juggling two natures. They only have one nature. When an animal is born, it already knows it's in. When
you don't know that, Steve.
No, what I'm saying is An animal doesn't fight its nature. It doesn't fight to be alive. What does a lion eat? It knows it's in a place. It's going to eat a gazelle. The gazelle knows it's limited. Good. It knows it eats from the plant, and then the lion comes eat it. The lion dies, turns into that, and it eats the lion.
I'm with you.
What I'm saying, it's called the circle of life. We learned in Lion King, right? So what they know what they're unconscious. Us, we've gained consciousness. So
I disagree with that.
So what I'm saying is, I'm operating between doing this and doing that. My nature is always fighting against each other. Always, constantly. Their nature is not fighting against each other. You see gazelle, eat gazelle. They're not having a funeral for a gazelle.
Right.
They run. We stop and we add all this meaning and all this.
But I think that's why I said what I said about eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. When you did that, it was easy for you to now become distracted. They don't get distracted.
That's what I mean. I don't think we disagree with that.
Yeah, so, okay, good point. Yeah. Because the ant's going to be the ant no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
They ain't thinking about nothing else but doing what ants do. Lion, same thing.
Yeah.
Turtle, same thing. We on the other hand trying to figure out.
We try to do everything.
Like the ant ain't trying to beat the other ant.
No.
But you trying to beat me. That's what we do.
And so
that's what we do
all
day long.
How much harder is it for us to fulfill purpose because of that simple thing itself?
That's the difference.
Because, like I already said, the answer's inside of you.
Yeah.
And instead of trying to search everywhere outside of you, you got to look right within you.
That's
and
true.
when you look within you, what you'll find is your power. You stand in your power, and then what your power does is disperse out to the things it's supposed to be.
That's very
true. Now, Keegan, like right now, this whole thing happened. We met 9 years ago in a men's meeting. We kept talking. We kept individually, we lived our lives and we stood in our powers and we ended up here.
Yeah. No question.
Because we were always meant to be positioned here. Because when we met each other, we didn't have the preconceived notion, well, Ivan is this.
But guess what, Steve? What if we just said when we met before, let's just do it? No.
Ooh.
We went
all the way around.
Right? How many places did we go before we came right here? Right? So my point is,
that's good.
We just get distracted.
We do.
That's our biggest issue is distraction. That's why I think it hits your free will, because your free will goes from me doing X to me doing Y, A, 1493. So that it's X. We just get distracted.
We do. And I think, Keegan, we have a wonderful opportunity now that we're evolving as humans. Now that we're understanding the elements of free will, understanding all these different elements, it's our time to take it to another level and not let these type of interactions go so long. Or when a man dies, we don't laugh at him because we disagree what he said. You know what I mean? We got to get out of this. Like especially for black people, and I always say this, man, listen, galvanize. That's the only message, because there's nothing else to do. We got a lot of information.
But I'm not surprised, Steve. I'm not surprised about what's going on with Kevin Samuels, because people will laugh at your demise while you're alive.
That's good. Yeah.
Right? They wait for it to just drown you with it. So to do it at his death, I'm not surprised, bro, because people are just, I was about to cuss, but people are just bad people.
You know what, Keegan? And I think, and sometimes when damaged people get inundated with bad information, toxicity is on the move.
Oh, yes. That's the fact.
That's what you see now. Because hurt people.
They do.
Yeah.
And they continue to hurt people. That's what we don't end that system. Because if nothing
I'm not going to stop until I get you back.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is what poverty does, Keegan. See, people don't really know the effect that poverty truly has on people, especially in a capitalistic society like America.
I would say that's also what riches do too. Because if you think Elon Musk will not cannibalize Jeff Bezos at the first drop of a hat, you're dead wrong.
Oh my goodness.
You're dead wrong. It's a nature.
It is. But when he does that, he's still going to be rich.
Yeah.
See, the thing about us, we're fighting. See, a lot of our people in survival mode.
That's true.
And that's the difference between, what we have to deal with and somebody wealthy have to deal with. We're literally fighting for our lives.
Gotcha.
We're literally fighting for the right to be human and not be some second-rate citizen.
True.
And so when we fight against each other, we only perpetuate the stereotype.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You know what I mean? But listen, I know you want to talk about Lucy before we go.
No, I don't really. I really don't.
I'm going to be honest, though.
I really don't.
Listen, I believe in consciousness, bro. I'm telling you. I believe that.
And I got a question for you. Then
Go ahead.
Steve.
Can I answer the question?
Yes, you can.
Gotcha.
It's not rhetorical.
Okay.
You was asking the question: how do we know where they got the word abortion from? How you know where they got Lucy from?
I ain't going on. I ain't want to go.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
What I'm saying is what I'm saying is that everything can be questioned.
Okay.
We got to stop living on dogma on things that we haven't experienced.
That's fair.
I'm not, when they write the Bible, another Bible, and we dead and gone 2,000-3,000 years from now, when it's gonna be fact that Will Smith smacked Chris Rock because we got it on videotape. And we know that, right?
Right.
You know, a lot of the stuff that we say happened that predates us, we don't know. We're guessing. We're believing somebody's account of something. So everything can be questioned. Everything can be called to the question. But I do know for certain that we are cut off. I think men are starting to evolve. And I think when I talk about Lucy, I'm talking about movie more so, and how we only operated about 10% of consciousness. I believe that Christ was operating at about 100%. I don't believe the miracles was fairy tale. I believe that he just understood nature. I believe that he was the second Adam, meaning that everything that he had, he could operate and move, even death. Death was everything was at his disposal because he understood the element. He understood the climate. He was operating at 100% consciousness. And when we became man and fully human, I believe that we got cut off from that nature and from the Garden of Eden, and now we're operating only at about 10%. That's why I think that I think we're evolving past that if we work together and open our hearts in love, because love is going to be the gateway back to God. Mm-hmm. Truly. It's truly back, and us loving each other. That's why I love that that movie so much, because it did represent, once we start operating at 100% consciousness, we'll be like the animals. And I believe, my opinion, and I think we'll just be working on conscious. Now, do I like the fact that I got a conscience now? Yeah, I don't want to be an animal. I'm being honest with you. I don't want to be a freaking animal. I like what I am right now.
They have consciousness too, because
it's different.
You ever seen a bear love their cub?
Yeah, of course.
They have it too, right? I don't want to do.
They got love. Love and consciousness are two different things.
No, actually, no. That comes out of consciousness. Like when you are aware, you're not just running around just full force this way. I don't care what nothing happens. You are aware of what's going on around you. But I would say this about your brain. I think part of the reason why you only operate on 10% is because the other 90 is running and operating your body. It's the most complex creation.
That's good.
Ever.
I'm not sure if it's true, but that's good.
No, that's my opinion.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not saying it's my opinion because you got to think about
great hypothesis.
What has to operate all 5 of your systems?
Yes,
your skeletal system, your nervous system, your cardiovascular system, your neurology.
And if it didn't. I ain't cutting you off, but if you didn't have this body to operate, you would be what Lucy became in that movie, when she was just conscious. She was nothing but
everything.
She was everything.
Yeah.
Like she stopped being something. She became everything. That's why I believe, and we talk about it a lot, God is everything.
I'm with you.
You can't box God in. You can't put him in a box in nothing.
You can't. And we should actually stop putting ourselves in boxes.
That's good, Keegan.
It's a different pod, but we because we are so simple minded. I gotta put Ivan so I can understand Ivan. Mm-hmm. But Ivan is more than one thing.
He is. That's good.
Right? And so, but back to the mind, you need the rest of your mind to operate the most complex creation we have on this earth.
That's good, Keegan.
Right? To operate every aspect of it while you're sleeping. Like when you go to sleep, your body is still operating.
That's good.
So you have to have the rest of it to do that kind of stuff. In my opinion.
To be human. Oh my God, that's good.
In my opinion.
Man, if we had more time, Tim, how much time we got? My goodness.
This is my opinion, so.
That makes so much sense though. Because we do have a complex system, Ivan.
We do.
Like if you think about this, bro. We're sitting here talking, I'm moving my arms. You know what's doing this, Ivan?
Your brain.
My brain.
Your brain.
Listen, bro, at split. Like I'm not even sure I'm thinking about moving my arms right now. Keegan, that's a revelation, my guy.
And when you
that's good. I like that.
It, when you lose something. So I would tell you,
come on, Keegan.
People who have COVID, who've lost their sense of taste and smell.
I did it.
Hey,
I remember,
bruh, it hit you that, oh my God, I lost a part of myself in this one aspect. That's controlled by your mind.
Man, that's good.
And your nervous system, right? So for me, I look at it as you can't use more than 10% because the rest of it is going toward that very complex creation that God put together.
So let's talk. So that 10% that you're using, it has to be, Ivan. You got to really hone in on it. Like, this is why focus is important. This is why having determination, because you only, like, that 10% is really your will. It's really your spirit trying to stay alive in this human experience.
Yeah.
Like, it's, because think about it. This is the human experience we're having right now. The feel, the taste, the moving, the talking, the sound, all
thinking,
of these things. It kicked until you said that it opened up a different portal for me, man. Because I never really thought about what the other 90% was doing.
Yeah.
I only thought about the 10% I was using.
So when they do brain,
That's good.
When they do brain mapping, they show you like this part of your brain right here does X, Y, and Z. This part of your brain does X, Y, and Z. So it's showing you the rest of your brain is doing so many other things all the time.
That's why when you're brain dead, it's over with.
Exactly. When you have a stroke,
You're a vegetable,
things
you're
change.
over with.
Yeah, I got a boy right now who he can't get his speech back. He had a stroke, and his mind is not operating the same way.
Man,
he's still conscious. He still knows what's going on, but he cannot get his speech back the right way because his brain has been damaged by that stroke.
So we're extraordinary beings.
Oh, no doubt.
Even though we talked about animals, but we're, at the end of the day, when I hear you say that, Ivan, that we're still immaculate beings.
Yes.
In what we can accomplish. And you seeing
even out of
evil. Yeah, even out of evil ingredient. What'd you say?
Even if you got melanin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna go there. Even if you greedy, you're seeing the things that we've built and the extraordinary imagination that man has when he's allowed, or when he operates in his free will, or when he takes responsibility for his own nature, because that's what it really is, Keegan. Taking you're the most powerful when you take responsibility for your own nature.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And watching humans do that and understanding now, Keegan, you taught me something. It gave me a perspective about it. Watching that, Ivan, with that, like I talked about with the 10%, man, how do we harness that? Even if, and again, this is ours. We don't know if it's. Let me say this: we're not scientists. We don't know.
It's pure
speculation.
Opinion. It's pure opinion.
Yeah, opinion. Just having a conversation. But that could be a likely scenario though. Based on what we read, based on what we know. How do we harness that 10%, Ivan, and use that to our advantage?
Really, it's just going to take, it just takes extreme focus and discipline. It's really just going to come down to extreme focus and discipline is how you're going to be able to harness the 10%. Because at the end of the day, knowing how limited it is and being able to get things completed, you're really going to have to put absolute focus in a place. And the only way that you can put focus in a place is by actually having complete, utter discipline. And that's being able to do something absolutely unconsciously. If the goal is to get to B, you have to focus on B. That's the only way you get there. I mean, it's basically how Ralph said that he was able to, walk all the way to the NFL from playing Little League football.
Yeah.
It's just having that absolute focus and being disciplined enough to stay there. Now, when you do that, that means some things are going to suffer. So you'll have to find a way to be able to create a balance through those places, because some things are going to have to suffer in order for you to have that absolute.
Because there's no balance. Because if you do focus, that means you're reaching a level of greatness. If you can even get the whole 10%, because sometimes we can't even get, if you use your 10% to focus on a goal, that means that there's no balance there. And I've heard this said by many there's no balance in greatness.
No.
Yeah.
That's just a realistic piece.
Yeah.
There's no balance.
And I absolutely believe that. I believe that there's very little to no balance there. And so unfortunately you get to the goal, but now you got to go back and you got to fix it.
But
I got a question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
You're not in the mind of God, but I want to ask you a question.
Oh, no, I'm not.
How do we talk about that? If God we're in time now. Outside of time, I think we were fully conscious when we was in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're now operating human. We have a human nature. Again, we have a spiritual nature. How does God see that? Does God want balance for our life, or do we chase greatness? Because a lot of men, because a lot of men, even biblically, a lot of men now, like it's like this, or we don't talk about balance. It's just this. How does God reconcile that in your opinion?
So let's start with, you talking about God. I think Adam had all that and balance because he was in right relationship with God.
Right, yeah. Right,
he was
standing.
right there with him. He had everything. When they get outside of what God asked him to do, now you lose that. You have separation now.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna give you the parallel. You can have 100%, not just 10%. You can have 100%. Mm-hmm. Just go find 10 guys who are like-minded, and each person executes their 10%. Now you got 100%. Mm-hmm. You got to be willing to share. What did Christ do?
2 fish.
He didn't build the church by himself.
No, he did.
How many disciples?
12.
120.
Then 12.
And it multiplied, right? It multiplied. So the point is, let's stop trying to do everything ourselves.
That's good.
By ourselves. We was already
Maybe that's
shown,
the point of life.
We was already shown that God didn't want man to be by himself.
Because it's not good for man to be alone.
God didn't want to be by himself.
That's good. See, now we're talking for real.
Because we just made it. We just made it as if it was just a relationship between man and woman, but it was just really
God wanted a relationship, right? He chased the Israelites. Every time they screwed up, he came back. Every time you screw up, Christ comes back for you. You can't get rid of him. He loves you that much.
Because it is love.
Exactly.
It's agape love. And it's like that love that surpasses all understanding.
All understanding. So my point is, we can get 100%, not by yourself.
And I think that's good. Man,
hold on.
Keegan,
So
that's good, Keegan.
So is that the part of I'm focused on just me that's ego and not being able to actually being able to
That's the trick, I believe.
I
believe that's the trick.
You're on the head.
I believe that's a distraction.
Yep.
There's selfishness and self-fool. Like understanding who you are. See, when you're selfish, all you want to do is get.
Please yourself. Mm-hmm. Please yourself.
When you're somebody who's self-full, you always want to give because you're a fool. And you want to pour that cup out and God pours back in. But when you're selfishness, all you want to do is get. But all you're doing is giving to an empty vessel.
You are.
Because think about it.
They can't be filled.
The only thing that wants to be pleased is your flesh.
They can't be filled.
You eat food, you get a little high. You smoke, you get a little high. You drink, you get a little high. You have sex, you get a little high. And all of those go right away.
Yeah. You gotta have it again.
When you give, you don't have to go. Listen, Keegan, you've given to people you've never talked about having.
Yeah, correct.
You know why? You've given to people you seen somebody on the side of the road and you didn't want to tell nobody. You know why? Because it stayed with you. And it's something that you like. It made you feel so good about yourself. You didn't need to go out and tell nobody.
True.
Because you was trying to serve the need.
That's fair.
But when you're selfish, all you want to do is consume. I ain't saying people who do those things are selfish. I'm saying I was just giving examples in terms of that those things are temporary. But when you really fill yourself up, and it's really trying to find peace in your life. It's really trying to figure out who you are. Why were you created? That's what it really self-full meaning is. Keegan, why were you put here? And once you figure that out, you give it to people. What are you doing right now?
True.
What are you doing right now?
Giving of yourself. Yeah.
You're giving of yourself. And you're gonna go back home and you're gonna need to be refilled in some type of way.
Yeah.
And but being selfish and being selfful are two different things.
I agree.
We gotta know the difference.
Absolutely.
Man, this was good.
It's good.
Tim, how much time we got, bro?
You stretching now, bro.
I might be stretching, man. But I just enjoyed tonight, man. I enjoy coming to sit with you guys, man. And this is really a pleasure for me. You guys are my friends in real life.
Yes.
My brothers in real life. Like this is not conjecture. This ain't fake. Yeah. This ain't on the camera stuff. We not even like that. We don't even care. You know, I'm going back home to take care of my kids. Y'all going back home to do what y'all do. And but I love the people that watch us. I love the people that we can affect, because you just don't know what somebody's going through.
True, you don't.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Our words have been beneficial to people, and people may not tell you. You got to be okay with not receiving the credit or hearing the credit. Just know it's happening.
Yeah.
That's why you got to continue to leave a legacy, because it may not hit you, it may fall on your kids.
True.
That's why you got to be careful with how you treat people, because a curse can fall on your kids too. See, everything we do right now, as I said earlier, echoes in eternity. Everything we do right now.
Yes.
So, Keegan, we can get that 100% of consciousness if we work together.
We work together.
Yeah.
We just need 7 more people. We got a talented 10.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
So, we can get it, man. But, let's continue to try to be pillars, man. Great show. Unbelievable show. Rest in peace.
Kevin Samuels.
To Kevin Samuels. And we're praying for his family. AJ, this your episode. It's called an AJ Show. My new guy, born. You guys subscribe to the Deep Service.
Congrats, Ebony.
Absolutely, on YouTube and Instagram. We out.
Yes, sir.